So, probably our most family-friendly podcast so far.
Oh, settle the family down. Watch it on YouTube.
Get BriightCast on.
Play it everywhere through speakers.
Basically, this week we chat through swearing in marketing. So there's a lot of different lettered bombs being dropped throughout.
Yeah.
So if you don't like swearing, rack off.
Yeah.
Which is a great reference to a swear word we reference later on in the BriightCast. So actually, don't rack off, rack on, stay on.
Also, we'll be pretty sure to title this about swearing, so you'll know what you're in for.
Yeah. We also mix up the format quite a bit. We merge the this week and the bring a thing into one.
Yeah.
One thing.
One little package.
Bring a week, maybe. I don't know. We're not sure what we're going to call it just yet. And in that, I moan about a pitch that may or may not have gone well.
Because you moan about pitches that have gone well, obviously. And I dropped in to help out a company we work with on and off on a production. Short notice, had challenges, one of which being lack of sleep, but how I overcame those a little bit.
And I look at TikTok now and discuss platforms copying other platforms.
So we'll see you fuckers in the episode. Welcome to the very 5th BriightCast. How's everyone doing?
I'm really surprised we got this far.
That's good. So I want to jump in early with... So I think as podcasts go on, they can evolve, formats can change and things like that. But I actually thought it might be nice to say what our personal jobs are here and what we actually do. Who would like to go first?
I just feel like it's a trap. As soon as I start listing my minimal amounts of responsibilities...
No. Come on.
You guys are getting rid of me.
This is your performance review.
That's actually a really good question, actually, because earlier Jess asked what my role should be on a pitch.
It was like a plan I'm doing. We do like a framework where we look at sort of who the driver is, who the contributors are, who would the approver and things would be. And it was, we put for the client what our job role on that particular thing would be. And obviously you guys are co-owners, both directors. I'd say you both sit in that managing director role. Like I think you both manage the business in different ways.
But we are still involved in,
definitely.
in client work.
So I kind of had Rob down as marketing director and then Drew down as video director, which obviously doesn't sound right. So I was just talking to Drew about what job title it actually would be.
Yeah, so you like to use a video maker?
I do not like that. So I said creative director, and then Jess said, oh, I think Rob wanted that one, actually.
Why don't you just say what you do?
We're not talking... Cut that.
Shall we introduce each other?
Cut that.
Because let's start with you, Drew. You're the founder of Bright. Assistant to the co-founder Bright. But you, in your client capacity, where do you sit?
Yeah, so I deal in more of the production stuff.
Yeah.
So it will be from going on shoots, organising and sorting out shoots, to sorting out and overseeing and also tackling post-production.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Heavily on post-production and on film work and animation and through that. And, we can supplement it, but everyone has creative input across all projects, really. And it's nice that we've all got an eye for design. So even if you're not heavily involved in a client website, you're quite involved in our own. But in a client website, you can come in and give fresh outside perspective. And we like to encourage a team to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Jess, what do you do?
So I kind of manage all of our client and internal marketing efforts. So from initial strategy right through to implementing said strategy.
Yeah. So
from sort of social media copy to ads, even down to sort of creative work like the video stuff. So it might even be an input of the scripts of that, the design of certain animations. Involved in those initial strategy meetings anyway, not necessarily the actual work that goes off in there.
Yeah, no, and I think that's important because with the marketing side of it covered, you obviously want what the content being created correlates to and things like that. Yeah,
definitely.
And then I would say I figuratively and literally sit between you two. So I do a lot of the marketing work with you. And I have a lot of production skills that, as we'll see in this week, I get called upon. But I tend to sit more on the marketing and strategy side now. Because one of our mottos is apes together strong. And that's using the best members of the team to create the things and to create the best part of those areas. So, you know, I do less design now because we have a design team and they do better work than me.
Way better.
Apparently. Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, it took us till episode 5 to tell people what we do. So what's been on your mind this week?
This week, I saw a post around TikTok now. And it came out in mid-September, so it's not a new
Putting
thing.
my cat backwards. TikTok's...
I've mentioned TikTok in 2 podcasts on a row now. I feel like you need to put your cat
you're a
backwards.
marketer. You're a marketer. It's fine.
It's not something new, but it is something that people have been talking about. And it's not necessarily TikTok now that I want to be speaking about. It's more platforms copying platforms, brands copying brands.
Yeah. So, well, Drew and I definitely know what TikTok now is. But for any listeners that don't.
For anyone who's not our age.
Do you know what Be Real is?
Yeah.
So TikTok now have created their own version of Be Real. But it's their thing of kind of, it will send you a message saying, post a picture of what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And it was kind of looking at the fact that, is it going to perform as well? Like just straight up ripping off other things. It's the same as LinkedIn Stories. So LinkedIn Stories got created, got pushed into beta, got pushed live, and then flopped. They've taken them off.
On LinkedIn it has, but other platforms did take stories on.
Yeah.
And they are working there.
Yeah.
I think with TikTok now, it's a bit like... I saw a great post. I forget who said it. Oh, it might even be Stephen Bartlett said it. He was saying it about Clubhouse. He's saying that's not a new social media platform. That's a feature, basically. And he was saying the same about Be Real, like, and platforms can copy that feature, but it is a feature. And yeah, I think Clubhouse is not many people are using that now.
No.
Not that other platforms have really adopted it though. I know Twitter bought out theirs, their audio only group hang meet thing. I forget what it's called.
But it's just interesting to see other platforms adopting these features.
Yeah.
And how some of them straight off rip off each other, which again is fine if you're seeing something working. But it's more looking at how platforms kind of copy other people's marketing strategies or marketing assets and expect it to perform as well.
Yeah.
Whereas as we've seen through some platforms, like I say, LinkedIn Stories, it's not a one size fits all thing where it's apply this and it's going to 100% work.
I think there must be a large portion of like swaying voters and swaying platform users, because I use all platforms, but I do go through phases of favoring a couple over others, and it must just be platforms responding to that, right? They see a new feature come out on a certain platform, people respond to it, drift back to it, those numbers improve, so they want to. It might not even be take that back. It might just be dilute the effect of that from a strategy point of view for the platform.
I guess TikTok might have seen that because TikTok was such a craze in, I'd say 2020 was maybe, without looking at stats, everyone got TikTok in 2020, didn't they, during the pandemic? And then Be Real came out, and Be Real's probably the most downloaded, maybe, again, without looking at stats from what I've kind of seen.
It's certainly the hot
trending one right now. So then TikTok's like, how do we then take back these people that we've lost? So maybe it is that type of thing of diluting.
On my mind this week, I alluded to it earlier where I was saying I get brought back into the production side of things. So Joe from our first BriightCast mini episode and producer of this podcast isn't here. He's on honeymoon and he's away for 3 weeks now. And then with Drew faking illness as well earlier on, I had to jump in and do a shoot. It happened to be after the day after Joe's wedding, so it was a later night the night before, and then it was quite far away, so I couldn't stay over, so I had to drive, and then just downloads of coffee to get through it.
How did the shoot go?
Shoot went well. It was an interesting topic. What was nice, it was a client we've done work for quite a bit in the past, but there was a tragedy with their local videographer, and I was happy to step in. It was great to help him out, and the stuff's looking nice now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was good, but a nice challenge to sort of set it up with maybe 2 days' notice.
So we got the call on like Friday afternoon, and we were filming on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you didn't even realise it was Joe's wedding until I pointed it out either.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And Joe was in the room. I was like, oh, of course I can do that shoot. I've got nothing important happening.
Joe didn't realise either. That's the bad thing.
Yeah. It was a great reminder.
Maybe cut that for Joe's now wife.
Yeah.
Well, they're married now.
What's been on your mind, Drew?
I mean, like you alluded to, I've been a bit ill recently, so I've been off for a few days. But I think if you're allowed to have the underprepared shoot that you went on, which turned out great, I'm allowed to have the underprepared pitch that I was on.
Which turned out great?
Not great. No, it didn't turn out great, yeah. I had to pitch on some work. Basically, you were going to pitch on the work.
Yeah.
You then had to go and do the shoot.
Lots of the setup. I'd taken phone calls with the people. I didn't expect us to be invited to pitch because I didn't realise it was a pitch thing, because I would have just headed that off in the conversation stage anyway, because we hate pitching. And we don't have to. And it's not a good way of starting a partnership.
No.
But yeah, so I had to go on this shoot, and then very short notice, you had to step in, and ill notice.
Yeah, because the reason you were on the shoot and not me was because I was ill.
Yeah.
So I had to jump onto this pitch with like no kind of notice, no prep time, no real prep time. And unsurprisingly, it didn't go well.
Yeah.
And we didn't get it. But it just kind of highlighted the fact that I just don't think pictures are a great way, like you say, to start off a partnership or for people to just to work together.
Yeah.
I think you want a conversation with people.
Yeah.
Because like within, I think it was like an 8-minute pitch, basically. Within that amount of time, with me just talking, it's quite difficult for both sides to really gain an understanding of what's happening.
Yeah.
What can you find out in that kind of like speed dating type situation that you couldn't that wouldn't have been better in a 20-minute phone call, half an hour chat, an hour long meet, something like that, a little bit longer, a little bit lengthier, something where both sides are talking, both sides are kind of mutually trying to share information.
And it comes at a point where it's after a conversation which was maybe half an hour, where you do get to go through those things and then follow up with emails just clarifying what we spoke about and how we would operate and things within this arrangement, to then have to try and cover that in 8 minutes in front of new people. It's just weird, and it shouldn't be like that.
No, and I think the big thing as well, like we unfortunately missed out because of my poor pitch.
That was the annoying thing. So I heard we hadn't got it and the pitch hadn't gone well, but I came in and you jumped in last minute, and I was like, don't worry, mate. It's classic pitch scenario. They will have already made their decision. But then for their feedback to be, just to be clear, it was definitely the pitch that's done this.
You guys were great up until it. We were going to go with you. Everything else that Rob had done was
Rob.
fantastic. But your pitch was not good. And that's why we're not going to go with you. I think it's just that because like we're not pitching to win work where we'll then be pitching for them.
Yeah.
I'm not pitching to be a pitcher.
Yeah.
I'm pitching work to do animation work for them, which we could knock out the park. So it's just one of those things where I think when you're pitching to somebody, you're then judging that person on that pitch and pitch alone.
Yeah.
As unfortunately happened with me, I just couldn't coherently string together sentences because I was ill and unprepared.
Yeah.
And as such, we lost the pitch. So we aren't now doing that work, unfortunately. And it would have been really good because like we've known about this company for a long time.
Yeah, I wanted to work with them, which I think was the only reason when it was dropped on us that we had to pitch, we entertained the idea because we did want to do that.
And they're a company who they do, the person who runs it, they do lots of really, really good like philanthropic things. There's lots of like, philanthropy around it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been exciting to have done work for that person with that person, but unfortunately, it's not happening.
I think in a creative environment as well, it's about finding a partner where you can both work together to create something amazing. So in that pitch scenario, we're just talking about what we can do, what services we do offer, and what culture I guess we have as a company. Whereas it should be that conversation of what they're after, what goals they're after, how we can then work with them to achieve their goals. And it's even, we've worked with companies in the past where they've come to us for one video, and it's not actually a 3-minute video they're after. They're after a few 30-second vox pops, or they're actually after an animation because they can't actually get any of the footage to actually film. So it's about having that conversation about how you can create a partnership rather than pitch for this work, because that's all we're going to base you off.
And I think a lot of companies have moved away from pitching to bring in workers and suppliers for that very reason, because you get more from a partnership where the situation makes you open to ideas and suggestions and improvement,
especially in a creative environment.
Whereas if you're just hiring someone to do a job, and it can start with a single job, but I think with a pitch you're just that job, and then really it's with partnerships it's much more than that, which is how it should be.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think your point around it's them self-diagnosing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're saying this is exactly what I want.
Yeah.
When you actually get down to nitty-gritty, it's not what they want, or it is what they want, but it's not what they need.
Yeah.
And I think that's a massive part of it. And it even came out in this pitch where, the one thing they needed, it then turned out towards the end of a pitch, it wasn't the thing they needed. They actually needed lots of peripheral things around this thing.
Yeah.
So that would have come out more easily within a conversation than a pitch setting.
Yeah. I think as well, if we were invited early to do a pitch, that would have just been a big red flag, and we'd have just said no, or that's not the way we do it, and
I think the optimist in me would have said, we would have got to the stage early on if they had said, do you want to pitch early on, rather than as just it being a red flag and us moving on. I think because the stuff that you had done so early on with them was so good and had won them over so much, I think you would have just done that more. And I think you would have stopped the pitch process from happening and just got us the work, to be honest with you.
It wouldn't have felt like a person in the room pitching, more of a continuation of that conversation, I guess. Potentially, we'll never know.
Yeah. But pitches be cray.
So that brings us nicely to our main topic. This week's main topic is looking around swearing in marketing and content creation. Basically having a discussion on whether it's needed, where it's appropriate, where people might have took it too far.
And the rise of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm seeing it everywhere, yeah.
Especially I found a rise of swearing in marketing from marketers.
Yeah.
A lot of books being written by marketers now all have swearing in the title. And it's I've added this to stand out, but now everyone's doing it, so you're not standing out anymore.
There's people like Dan Kelsall who's made a living off the back of
He was
saying
one of the
swears.
first, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, not one of the first people to swear in marketing, but one of the first people to write a book with...
Yeah.
Can't remember what the book was called, but yeah.
And it's an appropriate topic because, you didn't do it then when you was talking about pitching, but before when you were, there was lots more expletives. So it ties together quite well.
Yeah. It's all around is it being disruptive, right?
Yeah.
That kind of disruptive marketing. And obviously, if we look at it from a base point of view, people just swearing isn't being disruptive. It's just people swearing. So you gave the example of Dan Kelsall.
Yeah.
I really liked his recent ads that he did, where it's the negative ads, the bad advertising, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
They're much more disruptive to me than just throwing out a swear word in the middle of a marketing ad. I swear all the time. I swear like a pirate. I need to stop swearing at home because I've got a 1-year-old who's definitely going to start soaking all of these swear words up soon.
It's the reason the podcast is marked as explicit.
There you go. Thank you. It's the reason why it was taken off YouTube Kids. So I don't mind it at all. But at the same time, I do see certain people online, on LinkedIn and stuff, and people just swearing, just throwing out random swear words.
Yeah.
Purely to try and seem disruptive, and I don't really think it's necessarily, like you were saying, I think it's because lots of people do it. They think, oh shit, I need to also be disruptive and like that. Yeah. I've seen Dan get great results on all of his stuff.
Right, yeah.
Let's do it as well. Let's drop a little F-bomb here or something like that. But I don't think it's necessarily just I don't think it's definitely not that easy. It's not that easy.
Yeah, I quite like swearing as a punchline sometimes if it's right. Your
best Christmas joke has a swearing punchline.
Oh, it is, yeah. we'll save that for a Christmas episode, but it's a goodie. Yeah, I'm not afraid of it. For me, I feel like I wouldn't necessarily do much campaign stuff or a campaign with swearing too much because everyone seems to be doing it. It seems to be so popular.
Yeah.
And lots of the strike-through ones, which I do enjoy, but I don't know if it's, because you said marketers doing it, I don't know if it's a thing that marketers enjoy seeing rather than target audiences enjoy seeing.
The ones I think that you sent over to me most recently were some ads to promote the pay gap between men and women. We'll pop some examples up on our video and we'll pop some on our socials as well. But the one that stuck out was, it basically has a strike through some of the words. So this one I'm looking at now has FU and then a strike through and then girls. So people think it's saying fuck girls, but it's actually saying fund girls. Yeah. I think these campaigns, without them being overdone, consumers do like them.
It is clever. And something like the pay gap, I think this does feel relevant. So I quite like those. We've used swearing. In the early days, we
used swearing, but we couldn't always just freely use it because obviously one of the guys at the company just did not swear. Yeah. So he was always aghast whenever we would swear or have swear words or want swear words and things.
And we saw the divisive nature of it, so we used it on a stand banner when we went down to the XL. I think we still got it somewhere. But it said, "We will make you look shit hot online."
Yeah, it's as far as swearing goes, that's like that's for PG.
Oh, you could take your
PG-13 of swears.
You could take your kids to see our banner.
Yeah.
They'd be disappointed.
They could go themselves. Yeah, they don't need parental guidance.
But we saw it. We saw people react to it. They would stop. They would read it. Some people would enjoy it. Some people, no. But I think part of it at the time, we were putting that out. I guess our target clients would be okay with that, and they wanted to themselves disrupt. Because no one else had swearing on their banner in that stand. And this was maybe 5 years ago, and I'm saying it's more prevalent now, but...
Yeah, I think the thing is, it's like at the time especially, we were creating a lot of our own vlogs and doing a lot of our own marketing about our own personality. Yeah, and we were having loads of new clients and new leads coming to us because they were enjoying it.
Yeah,
they
responding
were responding well to it, exactly. So because of that, we wanted to keep leaning into it.
Yeah.
And the shit hot thing, like I say, it's like, the Queen could say that or could have said that. The King could say that.
Yeah,
I'll just keep going through different monarchs so it never dates.
Yeah,
King William could have said that.
Yeah.
So we're having our clients respond really well to it. We wanted to lean into it, so we're having shit hot. As far as swear words goes, it's pretty mundane anyway. Like it's pretty innocent.
Yeah.
And I think also it's kind of like a bit of an early vetting process, I guess.
Yeah.
Because people who would be super offended by that, they either told us they were a bit offended by it, or they just didn't talk to us. So we kind of like, vetted out those people because in the meetings and stuff that we have, we might end up talking like that. And, rather than offending someone down the line, they know straight away.
Yeah.
And we're going to make them look shit hot.
And we're going to make them look shit. Why wouldn't we want to look shit hot? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess we're a little, or we can be informal in that nature. We can also be formal when we're in, a bigger organization and we're having to talk to seniors as well. But the majority of it, your way in, even in large organizations, is to mid-management anyway.
Yeah, some of the biggest, like, wealthiest companies that we've worked with, ones that have like, massive square foot offices in, central London, that type of thing. Smack bang next to massive monuments. These people all swear like pirates as well. People swear.
Yeah.
They talk like that. It's just they're not necessarily talking like that in their own marketing.
Yeah.
But when we're talking to them or when we're trying to entice these people with our marketing, they connect with it. They swear. They talk like that. So
I remember doing a bunch of work with he was a really good salesman, and his commission cap was just insane. And he was at this like publishing firm, but they did quite boring books. But to talk to him, he would just every like few words, he'd just be like, "Fucking hell."
Who is it?
I think he was raised on 80s sales training or something, but it was just all fucking hell. But but even like, real like Greystale businessmen would just love it, and they'd love him as well.
Yeah.
So it is becoming more prevalent. People are using it. Do you think it will keep escalating and people will just start seeing the C word on the billboards?
I want to say I don't think so. But again, it depends on your company. So there's companies we work with that definitely wouldn't even put crap on anything.
Yeah.
Because that's one, that's who the people they're targeting wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
And two, their tone of voice isn't like that.
Yeah.
Whereas us, for example, putting shit hot on a banner is fine.
Yeah.
Maybe some people using the C word is also fine. But I think that word in particular has got so much controversy around it. And more people hate that word than anything, any other swear word necessarily.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I remember someone I know in the business community saying they just had a meeting with someone and they dropped the C-bomb casually in a meeting and they didn't know how they felt about it. I think they hated it, which is really how they felt
somebody
about
else
it.
Somebody else dropped it.
Yeah. And they didn't expect it within a business meeting.
Yeah, I did think I'd expect it. I'm definitely one of these people who, to me, all swear words are just words.
Yeah.
All words are just words. It's the intent that you have behind them.
Yeah.
It's the intent, and I guess the setting as well. If you drop a C-bomb to me right now, just be having a laugh.
Yeah.
Whereas if some random guy charged through into the podcast room right now and yelled it at me, I'd be a little bit terrified.
Even 12A films, they get one fuck, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember, I think it was 2019, which it seems like it wasn't that far away, but when KFC ran out of chicken.
Yeah.
So they ran an ad which kind of rearranged their letters. So it was FCK, which basically was saying, fuck, we've run out of chicken. And to date, it's had, I think, if I just check, over 219 million shares.
Yeah.
And it had the biggest spike for search traffic. And I've seen a lot of articles around it basically saying how well this campaign did because they've got this swear in it.
Yeah.
But looking back at it, it's kind of, did they have that many shares and that many searches because they swore in an ad? Or did they have that many shares and searches because they ran out of chicken?
Yeah.
If a chicken shop ran out of chicken...
I think it was their response to it, but there was a cleverness and a wit about the use of the swear.
They leaned into it, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny though, isn't it? Like them having FCK and allowing to publicly put that out there, like everyone knows what that is. Like children know what that is.
But that's the other thing, isn't it? So it's like when like we were saying with like the strike through swear words and stuff, like we all know it's like when people bleep things out, you know what they're saying. We understand what they're saying, and it's like the Dollar Shave thing where it's like, I can't remember the full quote, but it's something we're fucking great. So like so let's say you're offended by that, so instead it says we're fucking great. Okay. Just because that one was bleeped, you know what they're saying. Are you still offended?
Are they bleeping it to not offend people, or are they bleeping it for ad purposes?
Oh, it's professional standards. So if it's on TV or something, it would be a watershed thing. If it's an ad thing, it would be to get an ad through. So I understand why they're doing it for those reasons,
Because like the KFC one, they ran that as an ad.
Yeah.
So you can't put fuck on an ad, but you can put FCK on an ad because you've not actually put it.
But I guess my point was that's the same thing. So it's weird. Yeah. It's weird that you can circumnavigate trading like standards within advertising with that because everyone knows what it is as well. If I came into work and someone came up to me and said, "Oh, sorry, mate, I really effed up that pitch," I know they mean fucked up that pitch.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing this up again?
No, this was a hypothetical.
Just in case you did. But some swears are worse than others. So some swears are given asterisks, or there's Grawlic, which is like where it has, do you know where people put like a hashtag, question mark, exclamation mark? They hide it with symbols.
Do you know there's a Derby band called Grawlics?
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
But there's some swears that will be used those things, so they'll be bleeped out or asterisks or whatever.
Yeah.
So fuck is one of those. So some people will censor that. But stuff like bollocks, which technically is still like in some people would class that as a swear word, why is that now? Oh, anyone can say bollocks. Bollocks is such a nice word or whatever. Not
so
nice,
there's a really old. I think it's. it's like
it's a nice word.
a lovely word.
I think it's like.
I think I might call my next kid bollocks.
Ooh.
Late 80s, early 90s advert by VW, and I think it's a shit advert, but they released like a diesel version of a Passat or something like that. But there's kids just saying, "Oh, bollocks." Bollocks in loads of different scenarios. And the reason is at the end, they show people filling up and they're like, oh, bollocks, because they've put the wrong fuel type in. But yeah, I guess that was going on in the 90s.
So I read a study from B&T, and it was basically 4 ways where people can use swearing in their marketing, but without actually swearing.
Right.
So the forking switch is basically using a word similar. So I'm saying forking is in a fork.
Okay.
So like comedians, I bet sometimes or in words, you won't actually say fucking, but it'll be like, oh, the forking switch.
Yeah.
The fucking switch.
Good place. Holy motherfucking shirt balls.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, fork, that's good.
She is secretly a two-faced, calculating, phony bench.
Fork off!
Okay.
Get the fork out of my neighborhood.
But I say we leave this miserable shirt hole.
So yeah, things like that. Another way is the KFC way. So switching around letters. Better if it's your own letters of your brand. So KFC switched it around.
There was lots of, did you have FC UK t-shirts?
I was just about to bring them up.
Was your French connection?
Yeah. So they only changed it to FC UK. They changed it after they launched their company, when they realised if they put their letters out, it spells near enough a swear. So it was used as kind of like a branding thing for them. The other one's bleeping asterisk Grolix that we spoke about earlier. Yeah. You can use them in a way, people still know what you're going to say, but you can kind of use them in a way that's not going to offend many people. And then the 4th way is creating your own. So there, I can't remember what sitcom it was, but it was using stuff like naff. Oh, that's naff, that is. So it doesn't actually mean anything, but it's still. Heartbreak
High, and it might be an Australian term anyway, but Heartbreak High used rack off. And then a guy I know from secondary school, he's got a compilation video on YouTube that's got loads of views, and it's the compilation of rack-offs in Heartbreak High.
But yeah, just some interesting ways where you can kind of use swearing. But at the same time, swearing can maybe attract the wrong audience for people as well. So if let's say you're a B2C company and you're swearing left, right, and say if you're a pub, you're a family pub, and you're swearing in all of your marketing, you're not attracting families. You're probably going to attract football lot that have just come from a game, want another pint, want somewhere that they're going to get a bit leery.
Describing me perfectly.
You're not going to attract a family of 4 with 2 young kids wanting a meal.
Pogba 2 goals.
But it's kind of, I feel like if you're going to swear within your marketing, there needs to be a reason you're doing it.
So with the pub thing, it could be that they're doing something like, oh, and we've got a place to stick your shitbag kids or whatever, but they do something funny with that word. You know, because parents, it's hard to believe, but parents sometimes get tired of their children.
Not me. Not me, son.
Would you advise people to use swearing?
As a blanket thing, I don't think I would advise people to use it. I would, figure out why they're potentially using it, why they potentially want to use it, what potentially want to use it for, or something. But I just think just throwing in a swear word as a blanket bit of advice is probably not a good bit of advice.
Yeah, I think there's certain use case scenarios where shock value is worth having. The gender gap, I think, is a good one. But then beyond that, I think it has to be very clever or very funny, but without alternative. Like it has to be that it could only be achieved with a swear. For me, and I think all of the clients that I deal with and we deal with, it would have to be that to be able to do it.
Yeah, I agree. So meaning behind it, and then also has to fit your tone of voice. just because you've seen an ad that you love with a swear word in it, doesn't mean you can then go and run that same ad. Doesn't mean you'll have the same effects for your company. So I think, having real meaning behind it and a real purpose behind it is the main thing there.
So I think something that will be good to put at the end, because we definitely can't push this podcast through paid ads because it'll get flagged, is to encourage people to obviously download the pod, watch the pod, and comment your favourite swear words.
And your favourite made-up swear word.
Yeah, along the lines of rack off.
Yeah, I liked rack off.
Yeah, I'd like to bring it back, I guess.
Yeah, I think you did for a while.
I tried. I tried, but like fetch, it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, we used knob on for a lot of things.
Yeah, knob down on it.
Knob down, knob on, yeah.
For eating, yeah. Yeah, good swears.
Yeah.
Favourite actual swears, though?
Mine's probably twat.
Okay.
I just think it's got a very good comedic edge to it. Twat.
Yeah, I love twat too, but if I'm going for a different one, probably shit.
I really want just that quote of Jess. I love twat too. I think mine's fuck off, a funny fuck off. And you can use it in so many ways, like fuck off, and there's others.
Yeah, that was just two. Brilliant.
So I guess it's just for anyone listening, people watching, fuck off.